Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the Oufro 16469Y. This is an extension tube. You can see the box here that it came in, and essentially what this is this is a 10 millimeter extension tube, and it allows you to shoot close up with a rangefinder, specifically with a Leica M10. So, something to know about rangefinder cameras: they're not very good at shooting up close. So, the closest you're going to be able to shoot to a subject is maybe 2 to 3 feet. It depends on the lens. What this allows you to do is to shoot within that range, but not really outside of it. So if you've got if this is your camera here, so let's just do a really simple one, and then let's say that this is like 2 to 3 feet, and then everything after that is until infinity. So yeah, 4 feet to infinity. So basically a rangefinder normally can shoot within this range here, and what this allows you to do is to shoot within this range here, but not any of this range. As soon as I have this on, no matter how I focus the lens, anything beyond, say, around 3 feet is completely blurry. So this becomes unusable, the lens becomes unusable for the rest of the range. And I think that's something that's not immediately clear when you buy it. So I just wanted to let you know that. The other thing is that it takes the frame and it magnifies it 1.4 times. So what that means practically is I have a 50 millimeter on this. So, and I think that comes out to, let's see, let me just do a quick calculation. Okay, so that's 70. So essentially what you get is you get a 70 millimeter macro. So that's kind of what you end up with. So let's go ahead and put it on, and I'll show you how it looks on here. Okay, so I'm going to twist it onto here, and you'll see that this little knob here, it will click into place. There we go. Subtle click. And then I'm going to put it on here. Twist. And there we go. And so now what this will allow me to do is it'll allow me to take really nice close-up photos. So let's go ahead and pick something like how about this lens cap. So there's actually another quirk about this, which is that you can no longer look through the viewfinder. It's not going to be accurate, and so you're going to have to look through the live view in order to see what's going on here. The reason for that is that because you have that magnification from 50 to 70, the frame lines inside of the viewfinder no longer are valid. The other thing is I've just kind of noticed that it just seems off, like it's not centered exactly, and so you really do have to use the live viewfinder in order to get it right. So let's do that. And actually, maybe it'd be nice to have this in there too, just for some color. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try and focus in on this. Let's see how close I can get. So I think, let's see, that's going to be right about there, is about the closest I can get. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this wheel right here to be for zooming in on the live view instead of doing exposure compensation. So we're going to click that, live view zoom, back to it, and now what's really nice is I can zoom way in here. So I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to let go of the shutter now, because if I have that pressed it's going to release the view. Okay, there we go. You see that? I don't know if you can see those red spots there, but it's telling me that that is very sharp and in focus. And this is only at 1/30th of a second. That's not fast enough, so I'm going to go up to, let's just do 3200 just for this demonstration. The other thing I could do is open a window. Okay, So now let's see what we can get. All right. There we go. Nice and sharp. You'll notice that the depth of field is extremely shallow. I don't know if this is blurry here or if you can see it. Okay. That's pretty sharp. So now I have it at 16, f16. Okay, then let's take a look at that. All right, great. Yeah, so you can see that I'm really nice and sharp on this. Let me see if I can actually get it to a spot where you can kind of see it. So very nice and sharp, and without this piece right here, there's no way that I would be able to shoot that close. So that's what it's for. I'm trying to think if there's any other quirks. I can't tell if I get less light with this on, so let's just do a really quick test for that. So I'm getting, let's see, we're at 3200, 16. Let's go down to 8. Nice round number. And I'm getting 1/90th of a second. Okay, so let's just snap that. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this off. The light is very consistent outside, so I don't think I have to worry about that changing. There we go. All right, now let's try this again. I haven't changed anything. Yeah, and now we're getting 1/25th of a second with the exact same settings. I'm going to go ahead and just snap this just to make sure. I'm going to go through the photos and I'm going to check just to make sure that I'm not incorrect here. Okay, so that's 1/90th of a second. Yeah, and then 1/25th. So that's just to show that you lose a little bit of light whenever you make the lens longer. So I'll just do a really quick recap. I realize this is not a very complicated piece, but the reason I wanted to do a quick video on this is because whenever I was looking at this component, I just couldn't find a video where somebody just put it on the lens and showed exactly how it worked. So whenever you buy this, it's a very simple part. So it there's probably not too many things you have to look out for, but you want to make sure that, like, for example, this component works. See how that goes up and down? It must have a spring in it or something. The other thing you might want to look out for is this brand name. So Oufro. So something you'll notice on some of these is on the side of this. If this is yeah, this is the side of it, where you have these dashes, and then the model number is right here. This is where the model number is. You'll find some of these on eBay where instead of the model number, it has this brand, Oufro. And so if you look for this model number right here on eBay, then it won't come up. But if you look for Oufro and you look for, Lights Wetzlar extension tube, then you'll find some of these. And the ones that don't have the model number are cheaper. So I saw some of these with Oufro on them that were $100. I didn't get a chance, unfortunately, to try them out. I was a little bit nervous about buying something that wasn't the exact model number. And then also, I just got this one for an amazing price. And so I was willing to spend the extra $40 for this one because it was in mint condition. And so that's what I went with. But just a little tip, you might be able to try buying this model as long as it has a return policy, and then see if it works. Okay, really quickly, let's do a quick overview of some of the things to know about this. So, I'll just write this down. So, number one, it lets you shoot macro. This is an estimate, but let's actually say 1 to 3 feet. The other thing that it does is it magnifies it, so it's a 1.4 times magnification. All right, and then 3, based on the test we just did here, I'm not going to try and reproduce it a bunch of times, but it does seem like you lose a little bit of light, so it seems like you're maybe losing like, 1 stop. And the only other thing that I would add is that whenever you put this on, you're also you're losing the ability to shoot beyond, like, say, 3 feet. It's just completely blurry. So anyway, there you have it. I have to say, like, the reason I actually bought this is because I wanted to be able to shoot at a 50 millimeter focal length and just be able to get a little bit closer to my subject. It's not very good for that, but I've had a thought, which is basically like, let's see how would this convert with a 35 millimeter. So you've got 35 millimeters, you times it by 1.4. I'm pretty sure it comes out to 49 or something like that. 35 times 1.4, or sorry, 49, yeah. So that converts to a 49 millimeter. So I think my plan is to couple this with a 35 millimeter lens, which I don't own yet. But I think this component with a 35 millimeter lens is going to give me basically exactly what I'm trying to do, which is it's going to give me a 50 millimeter that I can shoot a little bit closer. Now, one of the things I need to think about is the actual distance I can shoot in. I'll have to try it with a 35 millimeter to see if it changes this here. Number one, does it change my range? And in which direction? Does it give me a little bit more flexibility, or does it give me a little bit less? So that'll be really interesting to see. I would prefer that this is a little bit bigger. I get a little bit more of a range, as well as a little bit wider. And so that's something that I'll be really curious to try. If at some point in the near future I get a 35 millimeter, I will put it on the camera and test it out. All right, thanks. That is everything that I know about the, how do you say this, Oufro 16469Y extension tube.